Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of Kitchen Table Magic, where I showcase 60 card decks that are fun to play and fun to buy. I'm your host, and also the secret 17th Lorgoyf, Aiden. This week, we have a deck that I have been very, very excited to play for a long time. And pre-rotation, I didn't think that it was going to be good enough. And now with the release of Edge of Eternities, we are also seeing a couple more interesting toys to play with. This is Cosmic Roots. This deck revolves around two cards that are of import Insidious Roots. If you haven't seen it, an amazing card for only 2 mana that gives all creature tokens tap 10 mana. Who cares? But more importantly, whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, you make a 0/1 plant and put a 1/1 counter on every plant you control. So 1 card, you get a 1/2. 2 cards, you have a 1/2 and a 2/3. And it goes from there. And if you have these in multiple, it gets even crazier. So our deck is all based around putting cards into our graveyard and then getting rid of them from the graveyard. In most cases, this means exiling them. And so, to work with that synergy, we have the new card Cosmogoyf, which is the newest Goyf in the set. And this is going to be a star/1+ star power and toughness, and its power is equal to the cards we have in exile, and its toughness is equal to that card's +1. So the idea of this deck is to very early on get Insidious Roots out, exile a whole bunch of things to make a whole bunch of plants, and then should we lose everything or slow down, we have a absolutely massive 2-mana Cosmogoyf to help us finish the job. Now, we have to build our deck in a very specific way. We need a lot of creatures, but there are also a lot of very good non-creatures that support this plan. Dredger's Insight, a classic for this deck that mills us for 4 and helps us with a little bit of incidental life gain. Snarling Gorehound is an all-star in this deck, as you'll see, because every time you make a plant, it gives you a Surveil. And if you have this in multiple, that often means you have turns where you're just dumping cards from your deck into your graveyard, hopefully mostly creatures, and then making more plants to dump more cards into your graveyard. Once you get that chain going, it's really, really hard for opponents to keep up, no matter what they're doing, really. This deck does have a bit of a slow start. You usually want to have a nice turn 1 play to either put stuff in your graveyard or set it up, then turn 2 Insidious Roots, and then turn 3 you kind of start cooking. That's why this deck didn't work pre-rotation, because it was just too slow. With the current meta, it still can be a little slow if you're on the draw, but if you're on the play, it usually feels pretty good as long as you can get those critical cards in your graveyard. Feed the Cycle is here as a removal because you need removal, and we have one of Ashiok Wicked Manipulator. This is an older Planeswalker, but is very fun if you can get it to do its thing. It gives us a little bit of exile payoff with its -2 to make nightmares that get bigger, and works very well with the Cosmogoyf. I had 2 of these, but frankly, it's a 1-of card in the deck because it's fun. It's not particularly good. As you'll see throughout the videos, I don't think I play it very much. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the game so you can see what it's all about, and I'll see you there. So we don't have an untapped land to play the Gorehound turn 1, but I think we're still going to keep this for the Roots and the Dredger's Insight. Okay. I mean, Surveil into a Timeline color is pretty good, actually. Play Fire and Bricks. Do we risk the Roots? I think we do. If this stays around till next turn, we can Dredger and Timeline Puller. Okay. It's an Anim Pakal deck. So let's Dredger's Insight, gain some life, and make some blockers. Yep, we're gonna take the creature. Really just to trigger the Roots. And let's haste in the color. And life. Might go attack. No point not. We're not gonna block. It's fine. Anything. Now we have a blocker for Anim Pakal, which can kill it. So they gotta start dealing with these plants. Okay, so Anim Pakal becomes a 2/3, which I am definitely going to double block here. Even if they blow me out, I make so many of these plants that I don't really care. let's Gorehound, because Gorehound is really good here. I can ooze and exile something, but I don't have any. So let's Dredgers. Do I want to dredge? No, let's go double Gorehound and let's Dredgers away. Throw that away. We really just want to get through our deck right here. Okay, we're getting back a Cosmogoyf. Exciting. Gives us some benefit if kind of all of our stuff gets removed. And we've got 1 mana left. Do I want to attack? No, I can build up. Plus this gives us a whole bunch of surveils. Fill our graveyard. Another Fairy Dream Thief. That's both of them in the deck, I believe. Do I want to draw either of these? I really want to draw land, actually. Or other ways to exile from the graveyard. I already have Ooze. And 2 Gorehounds is enough. Our opponent needs to deal with roots and with the board. And it looks like we don't have it. I'm gonna play the Ooze. And probably swing with both plants. Come on, get the creatures in the bin. I'm gonna all out swing. There's no point in not, because if the Mavericks die, that's great for us. Okay, let's go ahead and grow the team. Make more plants. So that's 2 life. And 2 surveils and a plant. Oh, nice. We need that post-combat. No, I'm not going to keep the Molt Tender. Let's just keep them coming. Our graveyard, we'll get rid of the other Ooze. So that's 3 life. 1 life from the Ooze, 2 from the Dredger's Insight, a plant, a counter on all the plants, and 2 surveils. This is so much value. This is so ridiculous. I already have a Cosmogoyf. Ashiok. You will have tons of mana from all the plants. That does give us kind of a longer game. I'll keep Ashiok. You know what? It's in the deck for a reason. Gets them down to quite a bit. Let's see what our opponent does here. They need some kind of board wipe. Really. If they don't, we can just... Okay. Ultima, as good as it is, does not hit enchantments. So the question is, do I play another Ooze and go with the team, or do I Ashiok? I think I'm gonna Ooze and Cosmogoyf. And then next turn I can Ashiok to start throwing. We'll just put a counter here. All 3 of these are going to get major, so we actually have a decent amount of pressure. I think we can kill our opponent next turn. 2... Okay. We'll play this. And then Timeline Color and Dream Thief, or do we Ashiok? Let's Ashiok and make our opponent kill it. Oh, and that's it. That's all it takes. Jade, it's okay, we won. Don't need to be upset. Well, I think Jade's happy for us. This hand is a little bit rough, because we have a pretty good curve, including Dredger's Insight, but without Insidious Roots. And there's Insidious Roots. And our mana is a little neater. What do I put away? I'm gonna put the Goyf away. Because I feel like removal is very helpful. Let's surveil 2. I'm gonna keep a land just in case. Okay. finally getting to be on the play, which is great against this deck. If they sheltered by ghosts, we'll have Feed the Cycle online soon. Okay, they're not. I hope they... Attacking would definitely be a mistake here. I might play the tap land, or do I hold up Feed the Cycle? I can't forage. So I'll play the tap land and then we'll scavenge. So we really need the Maverick to die here, but we do have removal next turn if they play something really here. Okay. Okay. No, attack. Very good. Wastewood Verge. Let me think. So I actually don't have enough cards in the graveyard to be able to hit the Sanctifier. So I'll play the Molt Tender. I guess I'll just, So next turn I need a land, or I need a bunch of cards. So they're gaining a lot of life, but it's not doing very much yet. Well, I can draw a card, that's fine. Ooh, okay. That's a good draw. Is it a great draw? I don't think I can ask for anything better right now. I need cards in the graveyard, just put them in. This gives us enough to feed the cycle next turn. And we'll take the Molt Tender. Four cards in the bin. Okay, there is the Ajani's Pridemate. There's a bunch of life, but we can chump block that for days. Because Ajani's Pridemate, unlike all of the other much better options, do another Shelter by Ghosts. Do I care? They're just gonna take the Dredgers inside. And no, I don't. They just don't want me to gain life because they're not really doing much damage to me. They counters. Let's mill a card. Mill the Dredgers in sight. Snarling Gorehound, good. But we can't do that. Oh, we can't do that this turn. We're gonna forage. We're gonna kill your rabbit. 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Ward 2, yep, no. A ward. Get our Insidious Roots back. I'm gonna exile my Feed the Cycle to get a black, and I'll play the Gorehound. Then I can exile the Insight for a green and play the Maverick. Or rather, exile the Maverick. Where do I want counters? I guess the Ooze is the only thing that gets big in it that could potentially get big enough to tangle with the Pridemate. I don't want that. We're not gonna attack. Pull back on defense. Block the Pridemate with the Maverick. Double Pridemate. Oh, our opponent is really, really fun that part. This deck is also very good at blocking. Yeah, that's an easy block right there. I would with Warhound too if it wasn't gonna make me surveil. But that's why it's easy. Card. Surveil. Take it. I want that on top. So we're gonna go like that. We don't have creatures in our graveyard. The opponent does. Only one, though. We're just gonna hold. That's bad. Makes all their creatures quite large. And luckily we can kill one, but we really gotta get going with the plants here. They're not attacking. Okay, weird. Oh, I'll exile their graveyard a little bit. So it's gonna cost all of my lands. I would say all my mana, but it's really not. Because a lot. Dredger's Insight. I will take a Snarling Gorehound. Gain 1 life. But no, I need to start putting stuff in the graveyard. So, Timeline Color, do I exile it, or do I haste it out? I'm gonna exile it. I don't think I can pay the life right now. Surveil it away, and then I can play another Gorehound, which will let me surveil. Excellent. We're gonna exile a card for a green. I'll exile you. Actually, yeah. Let me exile a card for a green, and I'll exile this. Maybe we hit another Maverick. These surveils. At this point, do we keep that? I think we do. And then I can just get their Healer's Hawk for a little bit of extra life here. So they're hitting me for 6 in the air, but I am gaining a lot from the Dredger's Insight. Oh my gosh. Another Sheltered by Ghosts. Well, I know what they're taking. I also have a Feed the Cycle. Oh! Okay, not what I thought they were taking. Really not at all. They've got another Pride Mate now. Which is actually fine. I'm actually going to block with one of my Gorehounds, I think, if they attack. If they're not. Either way, Feed the Cycle, getting their bad is not bad. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I might as well pay. No, I do want to forage, actually. Because this builds the Goyf. Yep, I'll pay it. Alright, creature in the graveyard. Another creature in the graveyard. Let's use our mana on the ooze. So we'll get rid of some ooze on ooze action here. Gain a life. Team. More creatures in the graveyard. I'll keep another Insidious Roots. We gotta go big against this opponent, so get rid of the Molt Tender, yep. Nice. How many more creatures? We're at only one other creature. And I'm gonna go ahead and exile that for a green. Spend that green. Oh, there. This is a little bit risky because I do need to hit something good. Needs a little bit of life here, as usual. I do think they should start attacking with the Pride Mate, even though it's going to be in the graveyard. They need to make my board smaller. My board's going faster than theirs right now, at least in terms of skill. Okay. Might as well just exile everything out of the graveyard. Okay. Double Insidious Roots. Let's see how you like that. Ooh, that's very good. We shall exile this card from our graveyard. I'll put a counter on the biggest of the plant creatures. Starts the surveil train. Okay, I don't need 3. I need creatures. Creature. Creature. Ooh, that's a good creature. Cosmogoyf. I wish I could keep that, but keep the train rolling. Thank you. That's fine. Nice. Dream Thief. We have so much mana right now. Oh, this is what the deck wants. Oh no! You were at 71! No, opponent, we were doing it. We were doing the thing. Oh man, we had... What was our biggest? Only a 13-14. Oh, come on, you had 3 Pride Mates. You were drawing cards. Oh. Well, they just couldn't keep up. What do I think of this deck? This deck is a lot of fun. I will say this version of it I don't think is the best version. Unfortunately, as interesting and fun as Cosmogoyf is, I don't think it ever actually swung any games in my favor. It is kind of for that niche situation where you have already exiled a bunch of things and they get rid of your plants, and it didn't really come up. I expected to face a lot more exile-based removal than I did, and in that case, Cosmogoyf would be very good, but it just dies to removal even in that case. So I would recommend, if you're trying to play this deck on a competitive level, take out the Cosmogoyf, replace it with more Dream Thieves and another Molt Tender maybe, just to really lean into the Insidious Roots package. I will say, Timeline Color, surprisingly good. Oftentimes, if you're just bringing this back from your graveyard, you're hitting your opponent for 2 every turn, and it's something that your opponents can't really get rid of, otherwise it goes to your graveyard and then feeds your roots. I would recommend, if you're playing this deck, take out Ashiok, take out the Cosmogoyfs, go up a Molt Tender, go up 2 Dream Thieves, and then throw in the new Sacrifice Outlet, or whatever your favorite Sacrifice Outlet in the colors is, because that will let you sacrifice Timeline Color for cards in your graveyard. Even the Maverick, you can get it into the graveyard earlier, so that you can trigger your Insidious Roots with stuff on the battlefield by sacrificing it and putting it to the graveyard. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you've liked what you've seen, why not subscribe so that you never miss a video? I upload every Saturday, and if you have any deck ideas or any themes you want me to try out, go ahead and leave them down below in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Bye.